Good day, folks. This is Greg Judy at Green Pastures Farm. Check this out. I'm on a consulting deal out here in Kansas, and I was looking at this group of trees. I'm like, the owner is out. He'll be back in a little bit. And I saw this over here in these trees. I'm like, what is that? And it's an old windmill. It's an old windmill. And here's the pump jack right here. This is the pump jack. And this was hooked up to the windmill. There's the propellers, the fan, or whatever you want to say. There they are. Okay. And there was a shaft. And it's broke. Here it is right here. There's the shaft. And when that windmill's turned, it spun that shaft, and you could pump water from here. This is an old cistern, hand-dug cistern. I talked to the owner. I'm not sure it's a cistern. It may be a well. I can tell you this, it's pretty darn cool. And he said the water on this farm is at 80 feet. At Rucker, where I'm at, it's 750 feet. Just a little bit of difference there. I love old stuff like this. So isn't this cool? Look how that tree grew into that windmill. Oh, look at this. Check this out, folks. There's the ladder. That's the ladder that took you all the way to the top of the windmill. If you needed to work on it, you had a ladder. Well, there's the rest of it right there. It's still intact. Look at that. All the way to the top. I've got a great story about this pump. One just like this. When my mom was a little girl in Illinois, growing up on the farm, I don't know what she was doing, but she ran her finger, this one right here, she got her finger right there, and it cut it off. The only thing hanging was the skin, and it took it clear to the first knuckle right there. And that was back in, gosh, she was 5. So that'd have been like 1930, yeah, 30, 32. And back in those days, there just wasn't a doctor everywhere. And Grandpa looked at it and just figured there wasn't much way they could do anything with it. So he took his pocket knife and just cut the rest of the skin off. So Mom went her whole life with that finger gone from the knuckle, from one of these. She's a little girl, she stuck her finger right there, and this thing just, turning like crazy with a belt on it, and it cut her finger off. I'll never forget that. Look at that. Somebody pumped some water there, and there's the old house site over there. That was probably the barn. Definitely a barn. And I see just the remnants of metal around here. There's probably a house site here pretty darn close. Oh, here it is. Here's another old shed. I don't know if this is the house or not. No, that's a shed. Probably a smokehouse or a chicken shed. But anyway, we're on a beautiful farm here. It's been abused. It's been nuked and nuked and nuked and nuked. Row crop, and just sprayed. And, there's some terrible ditches in it. Terrible ditches. Ones if you fall off in a four-wheeler, you're going to lose your four-wheeler and you can lose yourself. And they just kept farming it. Just kept farming it. I'm sorry, but if you care about the land and you got a big old ditch out there, think enough about it to heal it. Don't just keep disking it in and farming it. But that's what happened. This farm's got so much potential. Look at this. That's Johnson grass. And row croppers hate this stuff. And it's an invasive. Folks, cattle will absolutely run over the top of you to get a bite full of that stuff. The only thing about Johnson grass is after a frost or in a long drought, you don't want to be grazing it. it can be toxic. But other than that, look at this. 120 acres here, and there's 340s all fastened together. And so we're gonna go back to the house. By the way, it hit 100 degrees out here today. And, but there's a breeze. There's a breeze. So it's a really cool 100 degrees. If it wasn't for that breeze, I wouldn't be out here shooting this. But the hedge trees on this farm are unbelievable. There's a few ponds they need dug out. Gonna be working on that. And we're looking at running piped water. We're gonna put it where it needs to be. And of course, it doesn't have any perimeter fence on it. So we've got some really planning to do here, but it's gonna be an unbelievable farm when it's done. So it's gonna be a great project. I'm looking forward to it. The wind's blowing like crazy, and I know the people are gonna be mad at me for posting this, but I couldn't help it. Y'all have a good one. We'll see you next time.